The best in poker news, entertainment, and more. This is the Mark Hoke Show.
All right, everybody, how we doing today? We are back here on the Mark Hoke Show live at the World Series of Poker. Main event underway. Day 2AB. It's the ABBA day here. And, of course, everyone's surviving day one as 1A, 1B, 1C all wrapped up. And now, after getting those opening day jitters out of the way, it's time to get serious. We are seeing already a bunch of players heading out the door early on. We were about a little under an hour into today's first level, and these guys, of course, still grouped by where they were on days 1A and 1B. But they are all fired up and ready to go. Pretty good stuff happening here at the WSOP. We're going to break down what happened yesterday, where we are today, and maybe get some previews of what's going on tomorrow. So, of course, day 2C will be here with tomorrow afternoon starting at noon, as that large group, which set a record for a main event flight, is all ready to roll. So let's take a look at yesterday's action first before we get into all sorts of the other interesting stuff. Let's get your summary from yesterday. And, of course, the big news coming out of day 1C is Phil Ivey rolled up a few chips yesterday. He had an all right afternoon. Not bad. Of course, day 1C breaking the main event record for largest starting flight in main event history, had 3,968 players. And I wish I'd have been thinking a little harder, but I thought we might have had a chance to get over 7,000 yesterday. Didn't happen. We did outdraw last year, as we end up with 6,683 players playing the main event. Prize pool total is $62,820 or $62,820,200. $10 million, of course, it was guaranteed at first place, and that actually took a little chunk out of second right now. It's basically going to be a 2-for-1 deal for first and second place, so a substantial drop going 1-2 in that one. So that'll be very interesting. Don't know how much it'll completely change the dynamics, but it still kind of hurts a little bit seeing some of the other places really take that 3% lop to accommodate the $10 million prize. So it'd be an interesting number to discuss, and as we move forward here and talk about that. Of course, the $10 million guarantee, mostly done as, a marketing scheme to try and, make it seem like, hey, we got a $10 million guaranteed first place prize. It's a nice round number, easy to remember, easy to report on and identify with. But not sure if I really, to be very frank, I kind of doubt that it drew more players. Which would be the other side effect of this. So and no offense, but I haven't seen NBC and CBS and ABC running around down here, checking out the World Series. But either way, it is what it is, and of course we got some new players in on satellites and things like that from WSOP.com and elsewhere. But I don't know. The number goes up, and you'd like to be excited, but I'm not sure really how honestly excited you should be about that. I think if it was at 7,000, I think we'd be a little more enthusiastic about it. But that's kind of how it goes. So 6683 is your number this year. 6683. We are down, and of course last night's field got down to 2571. So we lost about around 900 players or so last night. Of course, they will be coming back tomorrow to play day 2C. And they missed Richard Seymour on this list, but Paul Pierce is here. He makes day 2. Of course, the former Boston Celtic, now Brooklyn Net, getting it done and hangs on. Pierce is at 60,400. And FC Barcelona center back Gerard Pique bags 23,325 chips. I'm still trying to figure out what the sprinting going on is out here. We've had a couple guys kind of doing the run in, run back. I don't know if there's some bad food going around the Rio or what's going on there. We had a bunch of main event champions playing yesterday. A couple of them, or 3 of them, went down yesterday. Jamie Gold busted out, and he was followed by Greg Raymer and then Jerry Yang. So we did lose 3 main event champions on day 1C. Joe Cotta threw, and he put up 66,925. So Cotta continues a pretty successful World Series. Phil Hellmuth bags 49,425. He will move on. Joe Hashem also threw after he decided to show up after the dinner break. An interesting tactic by Joe Hashem. Jonathan Duhamel and Carlos Mortensen also threw. And, of course, the big story of the night last night, Phil Ivey rolls up 187,025 chips after getting off to kind of a slow start yesterday. Boy, just imagine if he hadn't dropped those chips early. He'd probably be the overall chip leader at this point. So pretty impressive run for Phil Ivey to open this up. And I can't imagine everybody in the room is going to be too excited about that. We also, let's see who else Daniel Negreanu also, good start for him. He gets things rolling at 129,250. James Dobes, Gus Hansen, Greg Mueller, Barry Greenstein, Nick Schulman, Victor Ramden, J.C. Tran also through. And J.C. Tran, of course, trying to get back to the November 9 after what he certainly considered a disappointment last year, finishing, I believe, in 5th place. Your chip leader is Eric Tracy, as he bags 206,175, and he will be the overall chip leader heading into the day 2s. Just got past Martin Jacobson, who was your day 1A leader. But so a nice start for Eric Tracy. So it has not statistically been good to be the leader after day 1 here at the World Series, as we learned last year. But these guys, well, we'll see if maybe the trend can change a little bit. So Eric Tracy, your day 1 overall leader. A few players that went down yesterday, and we'll probably go through more of these. Tom Dwan out, bracelet winner Calvin Anderson out. Tom Schneider, we will not be seeing any more colorful outfits. He was eliminated yesterday. Sam Trickett, Stephen Chidwick, and Jackie Glazier, the last woman standing last year, out on day 1. Your top 10 chip counts for the day 1C counts. Eric Tracy, 206,175. Phil Ivey, 187,000. 25 for him. And give me 1 second here. I want to switch over here. Tracy, of course, out of Ringwood, New Jersey. Ronnie Pease, 181,850. Nick Eunice, 171,100. He is out Palmetto Bay, Florida. Thomas Sara Jr., 168. Martin Hansen, 167,250. Jared Blesnick out of New York, 165,000. And I'm pretty sure I know Jared. Blair Hinkle, former bracelet winner, he is at 161,650. Konstantin Tolokno out of Russia, he is 161,500. And Paul Richardson, 158,825. So those are your top 10 right now. And let's keep going down through. We'll take a look at some of your other notable players. Jonas Wexler bags 145,400 for the day. And, a lot of good chip counts coming out of 1C. Just some people going crazy, I guess. Ali Islami off to a nice start, 132,800. Dan Negreanu bags 129,250. Tommy Hang, of course, finally got his first World Series of Poker bracelet this year, 125,000. Keep going. McLean Carr, and McLean just haven't really heard from McLean very much at all this World Series, But he'll get off to a nice start here in the main event, 121,075. Daniel Lai, 117,275. Jake Cody bags 115,525. So a lot of guys putting up some big numbers here to open. Mark Safe, boy, we haven't heard that name forever. Mark Safe at 110,550. Jonathan Jaffe, 108,975. Isaac Barron, 107,475. James Opes at 107,000. Ben Hamnet, the former Borgata Open champion, 105,500. Let's keep going down here and see what else we have. Because a lot of people clearing that 100,000 chip mark. Matt Matros. Didn't hear much from Matt this series either. He's at 101,275. So good start for Matt Matros here in the main event. Let's see what else we got. Like I said, Athanasios Polychronopoulos at 96,300. We'll just keep it going here. Of course, a lot of players getting through yesterday. Gus Hansen, 90,550. Brian Devonshire finally made it up here to the World Series. He bags 89,550. Andres Heuvold, 88,975 after he was pretty close to the top of that leaderboard the whole day yesterday. Got clipped a little bit late, but Heuvold's still in pretty good shape. And Maurice Hawkins at 88,500 chips. Going and taking a look at some of the eliminations from yesterday. We had Phil Collins out, Sam Trickett out, Kathy Liebert out, Jen Shahadi of the Grindettes is out. Twan Lamb got off to a good start but could not follow it up. He is eliminated. John Allen Hines is out. Melanie Weisner out. Gabe Costner out. Devilfish Dave Elliott is gone. The owner of Run Good Gear, Tana. Sorry, Karn Chana. I can never say his name. Karn. He's going to kill me, too. Karn Chanakvan. There we go. Karn Chanakvan out. James Woods, the actor, is eliminated. David Plastique out. Greg Raymer, former world champion, out. Jackie Glazier out. And we continue on with the eliminations from yesterday's play. Let's see what else we have here. Chance Corneth out. David Katai will not win his fourth bracelet. He is eliminated here at the World Series. Men the Master is gone. Jesse Sylvia, runner-up 2 years ago, eliminated. Andy Frankenberger, a first-day casualty, as is Tom Schneider, Darryl Fish. John Reisner out. Jerry Yang is gone. Soy Win, Ari Engel eliminated. Kevin Mathers, who was a nice story. A bunch of people raised money to get him in the tournament, but he will not make it to day two. Marc-Andre Ladouceur out. Shannon Shore will not be a world champion this year. He is gone. Fabian Quas. Calvin Anderson out. Tom Dwan. We didn't see much of him at the World Series, and that trend continued. Bryn Kenny out. I was looking to see some of this because I did see that was interesting. McLean Card double listed in the out category. And listing Michael Mizraki is out as well. So that's some big names getting whacked here yesterday on day one of the World Series of Poker main event. Of course, a lot of the pros, believe in going big or going home here. And obviously that it was no exception yesterday. It looks like Matt Glantz also out. Ralph Massey. Jeremy Osmus will not return to the final table. He is out. Dwight Pilgrims, Michael Sanders, Jared Jaffe, John Aguilar, Kayla McNeil, DJ McKinnon, Brian Rast, all of them eliminated yesterday. So a pretty rough day for the pros as a ton of them fall by the wayside. And, of course, there's only going to be one world champion, but quite a few will say goodbye to us here at the World Series of Poker main event from yesterday's 1C action. All right, and I'll tell you what, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, let's see what's going on so far today, and we're also going to get a chance to talk about what the overall scheme of things here at the World Series and continue our review of bracelet winners here at the WSOP. So let's step back, take a break, and we will be right back here on the Mark Hoke Show. We're live here at the World Series of Poker. Hey, make sure you give us a follow at Mark Hoke Show on Twitter and the Mark Hoke Show on Facebook. We'll see you on the other side of the break. Thank you so much for being with us today, live from the World Series of Poker. The Canadian Poker Tour returns to Calgary, Alberta, Canada for the CPT Summer Showdown July 24th through August 3rd at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. With 10 big events over 11 days featuring over $500,000 in guarantees, it promises to be one of the most exciting events on the summer poker calendar. Plus, the Mark Hoke Show will be there live from July 31st through August 3rd for coverage of the CPT Summer Showdown High Roller and Main Event. For the full schedule and outstanding hotel and flight discounts, just visit CanadianPokerTour.tv. That's CanadianPokerTour.tv. See you in Calgary July 24th through August 3rd at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino for the Canadian Poker Tour Summer Showdown.
The heat is on. Whether you're in the hot seat of a major poker tournament or just dealing with everyday life, stay cool with a brand new Arctic Blue cooling towel. Just wet your reusable and durable Arctic Blue cooling towel in cold water and you'll have instant cooling relief at your fingertips for up to 5 hours. The towel is lightweight and pliable, so you can keep it handy no matter where you are. Plus, it's absorbent enough to make sure you and your clothes stay dry while you stay cool. No need to sweat it out, no matter what you're doing, when you have an Arctic Blue cooling towel handy. So get the same cooling towel used by professional athletes, poker players, first responders, physical therapists, U.S. automakers, and even reality TV stars. So what are you waiting for? Visit them today at arcticblu.com and pick yours up today. Plus, enter the discount code Mark Hoke Show when you check out and get 15% off plus free shipping to keep some of your cold hard cash in your wallet. It's like the Arctic Blue Bear says, it's not cool to be hot. So pick up your Arctic Blue cooling towel today.
One man, his lucky shirt, an unforgettable night, and a winning streak that never seemed to end. That's how Blind Squirrel began, and we haven't looked back since. We make the clothes that we want to wear for the places where we want to look and feel our best. The game, the speakeasy, and the casino floor. Blind Squirrel's small batch, high-quality gear is for people too busy grabbing life by the nuts to bother with crappy, ill-fitting clothing. Because like you, we prefer our nights long, our drinks strong, and our lucky shirt to be our most comfortable. So look good, be lucky, and visit BlindSquirrelApparel.com for your new favorite shirt. As an added bonus, you'll receive 20% off your purchase with the promo code HOKE, H-O-K-E. You can also pick up Blind Squirrel Apparel at the Borgata in Atlantic City and in Las Vegas at all Masura stores at Mandalay Bay, Monte Carlo, The Mirage, and MGM Grand. Look good and be lucky with Blind Squirrel Apparel.
I'm Dutch Boyd, two-time WSOP bracelet winner, and I want to share my story with you. 12 years as a pro has taught me a lot. For the last year, I've boiled it all down into a tell-all book, 90,000 words. In Poker Tilt, I take you on my journey through all the ups and downs that poker has to offer, all the manic highs and hellish lows of every bad beat and lucky draw. So go to www.pokertilt.com to read more, or just go buy the new book on Amazon or Kindle right now, pokertilt.com. I guarantee you'll enjoy the ride.
Poker players, it's time to check out DeegePoker.com. Deege Poker is the unique and clever choice for a new generation of true grinders. Representing the full spectrum of poker players from the novice to the world champion, a true Deege player gives their heart and soul for countless hours at the tables to be the best. And Deege Poker Apparel shows everyone who you really are on and off the felt. So join the new generation at DeegePoker.com. That's D-E-E-G Poker.com. Deege Poker, the world's newest poker apparel store.
Your business and promotion will only go as far as your website will take you. That's why the Mark Hoke Show has only trusted one name for over 2 years, BlueRail.net. Whether you need custom website design and development packages, or simply need a host for your website, Blue Rail is the only developer to turn to. It's time to discover the world-class personalized service only the Blue Rail team can provide. Visit us at BlueRail.net and call 520-822-5128 right now for your free consultation today. So get on board at BlueRail.net. How far do you want to go? RunGoodGear.com is one of poker's premier online stores for apparel. Their mission is to provide poker players with stylish and comfortable clothes for their daily grind. You've probably seen Run Good Gear at the World Series of Poker through Run Good Poker Pro Rob Salaburo, or around the country through the WSOP circuit. Today, RunGoodGear.com is the place to go to gear up for the poker felt. So go there now with the promo code HOKE, that's HOKE, for 10% off your entire online purchase. Remember Hoke. Now go gear up.
9 poker players on a dramatic path to glory with unbelievable twists and turns that will keep you on the edge of your seat. It's the Final 9 comic from Room 110 Publishing. Go to final9comic.com to download the first issue preview and get ready for the official launch coming soon. 9 will become one way or another. Final9comic.com. And for more details, make sure to follow them on Twitter and like them on Facebook at Final9Comic.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Then follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show and like our Facebook page at The Mark Hoke Show for show news and outstanding poker content from around the world. Plus, enjoy the show anytime by subscribing to our podcasts on iTunes or at markhokeshow.podbean.com. We're even on your mobile phone at markhokeshow.podbean.com/mobile. Thanks for listening and being a part of The Mark Hoke Show.
Now, let's return to The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, and we are back live here at the World Series of Poker. The main event underway. As these guys trying to hang on and survive, get to day 3, but we've been seeing a lot of people coming out of that. Hey, Bebo, what's up? Brian Devonshire walking by there, but unfortunately, at this time of day, if you're walking by here, usually not a good thing. We just talked about Brian Devonshire a little while ago, but it looks like... Oh, wait, no, that wasn't Brian. But anyway, so we currently stand, once again, about... Oh, it's a little noise coming up from the crowd there. About 45 minutes to the first break. And by the way, if you're wondering why I'm playing solo again today, well, Joe Payne, my daytime running partner, well, he is currently playing over in the Amazon room as he gets his day 2 underway. He only has Lane Flacken and Ed Oberstad to his left, so a little bit of a fun day for mighty Joe Payne as he is trying to become the world champion. Of course, pretty early to start talking about that, but well, that's the goal. So nice job. So good luck today, Joe, and wish you all the best. Let's take a look at some of what is going on today at this point. And, of course, you know, your chip leaders coming in today, Martin Jacobson and from day 1 and Trey Luxemburger from day 1B, looking to come back and try and continue to build on their stacks. And just some interesting happenings today. Dan Kelly had a nice hand against Kobayashi. You know, Kelly kind of caught a little extra luck. It was Kelly 9s against 5s, 5 on the flop, but a turn for Kelly and 9 on the turn, and Kelly will pick up some serious chips on that. Chunlei Zhao is out. The online superstar has been eliminated. He is one of the first ones to go here. And Maria Mayrink got into a little hand with former world champion Tom McAvoy. Tom looking to try and... Oh, wow. Just heard something really big just happened over in Brasilia. Not sure what, but it got that crowd going in there. I mean, it has been stone silent in there until right now. Maybe we'll keep an eye out, see if that one gets up. Kevin Stamen, what's up, Kev? Kevin Stamen, got to play with him the other night. And, of course, the winner of the WPT World Championship. So nice job. Congratulations to him. Tom McAvoy got into a little bit of a hand there, as we were saying. Let's see. A few eliminations. Mike Linster out. Cody Muir out, Judith Rainey out. Josh Arie has also been eliminated. So the third-place finisher to Greg Raymer 10 years ago is gone. He was eliminated by Jason Seitz. Arie with 5,300 goes all in with King Queen. Seitz has aces and an ace on the flop. Pretty much did it. Wow, and it is really getting loud in that corner in Brasilia. I don't know if you guys could quite pick that up or not. But something huge apparently happened. Wow, love to know what's happening on that hand. Jeez. Raymond, what's going on in there? Oh, we're just watching soccer?
I like soccer. What's going on?
Hey, Raymond. So everybody's just watching soccer.
20,000.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm out of the fucking red zone.
Okay. That's
out of
good.
The ESPN Death Watch.
Yes, there you go.
You know, they like to get the notables when we fucking bust on our worst day of the year.
Of course, yeah.
You know?
Of course.
Nothing like busting out of the main event and that long fucking walk through the Rio.
I see it all the time.
You know?
I see it all the time. It's
like
painful.
The walk of shame. Look at that eye candy in front of you. Wow, is she part of the show?
Unfortunately, not. We'll have to work on that. So actually, the cheering going on is there because everybody's watching the World Cup. It has nothing to do with the poker. Wow,
It was either the World Cup or me going busted.
That is horribly disappointing because it sounded like something actually exciting was going on in there.
The World Cup.
Yes, the World Cup, not the World Series. All right, fair enough.
Hey, interview that chick in front of you.
Jeez. I love Raymond Davis, everybody. Let's see what else we got. Just some notables flying around here. And, we'll talk about that situation, by the way, too. Just looking at the chat box. We'll take a look at this discussion about this WPT event at the Aria, which has turned out to be a very big success. Speaking of big successes, look at this guy. Meandering over. Yeah, I'm on here right now. That'd be fun. You know, Bernard, I was actually excited here for a second. I heard loud cheering. Everybody was sounding like some crazy stuff was happening, and it was just soccer.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys know the score, but it's 4-0 Germany.
Wow.
They've scored 3 goals in the last 3 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So.
That's almost as many goals as were scored in the entire quarterfinals.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much over.
5-4. So.
Yeah, Brazil never lost in Brazil for a World Cup, and.
Well, guess what?
They're going to lose.
They're probably going to lose. Now you just said that it's going to end up like 7-4. We'll turn it into an indoor soccer game.
Right. Exactly.
That would be fun.
No, it's pretty crazy right now.
Bernard, what's up?
Well, on to day 2, and it is. I need a little bit more rest as I flew in yesterday just to get here, but I was literally falling asleep during the last night. I fell asleep for 30 seconds, just out. You know, one of those where you close your eyes and you're like, oh, where am I?
Wow.
Really out, and I don't often fall asleep at all late night, but for me, I'd been up almost 22 hours or something like that, so I was pretty tired. And, obviously flights take it out of you as well. So, but I was down to about 8,000 in level 3, so it just wasn't going well. The biggest hand was like third nut flush versus second nut flush, so I lost. And fortunately, the board paired on the river, which made the person think and just called me instead of raising me. So I could have been out of the tournament, in all honesty, because I never imagined this person would have had a flush, the way they were playing the hand. I thought they might have had top 2 or top pair or whatever. And so, it worked. It was very fortunate. So I was down to 8,000. I tripled up, and then got back up to starting stack. I'm a little bit above starting stack, so I'm very pleased. We're going into 250, 500. So I've still got 60 bigs. So there's really no worry in the sense of that. And so if you told me in level 3 that by the end of the night you're going to be at starting stack, I would have taken it in a heartbeat. So I'm pretty pleased about it, and we'll see what happens. This is a grind. This is the 9th time out of 10 main events that I've made it to a level 6, and so I've already been asked twice because I tweeted that out. Like ESPN asked me, another person just asked me about I don't understand how does that happen? How do you get to day 2 so often?
Yeah,
And I don't want to say it's easy, but I think a lot of people make silly mistakes by playing just way too many hands and putting themselves into such horrendous positions when the blinds are 100, 200. It makes no sense to me.
Well, and that's what we saw a lot of in the Monster Stack, too, where a lot of players came into that thing and just saw 15,000 chips and thought, well, you know what, I can play stupid. And a lot of them did some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I think I think a lot of these. First of all, a lot of these players hadn't seen 30,000 chips all summer long.
Yeah.
If you play 5 events, you play them all 1,500. If you got to 30,000, you were already in the money. Forget anything else. So if you can get to 30,000 by the end of the day, you're guaranteed a cash. So some of these players are looking at 30,000 like, wow, this is as big as I've gotten all year.
Yeah.
So, but it's a different game. When you're doing that. In addition to that, you're playing 2-hour levels. There's no tournament in the world that do 2-hour levels like this, and so, you can take your time. Don't get me wrong. You can play your hands accordingly, but hit your hands, get to 60, 70, 80, 90,000, and now maybe you can take some more chances and play. But I saw a lot of people playing, calling 3-bets with ace-4 offsuit, calling 3-bets with, Jack-9. It really didn't make much sense. Then they caught top pair, and then they were stuck for the whole hand. They lose 5,000.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make much sense to me. But, listen, there are probably numerous players that are well above me in chip stacks that played that way and hit their hands, and they're doing great. So it is. I mean, the way I look at it is that this is the one tournament of the year that you think about all year long. Right? I still remember last year I was very unfortunate. I had 3 major coolers in the first level, and I was out after an hour and 45 minutes. And so I still thought about that. Thought about it. Could I have gotten off of a hand? Could I have done something differently?
Yeah.
Could I have gotten off? Last hand, I had ace-10, flopped a 10, turned a 10, rivered an 8. The guy called me the whole way down, had pocket 8s.
Oh.
He check-raised me on the river, and I crying called, being like, what's going on? And then had queens. Flop comes queen, jack, 10. I bet he called. The turn was a blank. I bet he raised me. I said, what in the world could be going on here? Does he really have ace-king? And he never re-raised. I think he limped. Yeah. I raised, he called. So you don't put ace-king in the equation.
Right.
I just called the river blank. Of course, doesn't pair. He bets huge, and I just tanked for like 2 minutes, going, what is going on? I almost folded. I should have folded. Obviously, I called, and he flips over ace king, and I was sick. And then I was down to probably like 6,000 or 7,000, and then raised with ace jack. Got called by that same guy, and the flop came ace king jack.
Oh.
And
no.
I bet. He raised. And, I really just thought about it. I go, can you really have queen 10? Could you really have ace king? I mean, those are obviously the only 2 major hands. And decided to call. The river came up blank. He shoved on me. I'm short stacked at that point. He could be shoving with ace queen. He could be shoving with whatever. Anyway, so I called, and he flips over ace king. I go, this is unbelievable. 3 coolers in a row like that. So I really thought about all those hands over and over and over again. I don't think I could have done anything in the first hand. The guy just played 8s and got ridiculously lucky. But the other 2, I firmly believe I could have gotten off of them, and I could have had at least 10 or 12,000 going into level 2, which if you look at it compared to yesterday, I had 8,000 in level 3. So, it could have easily come back. So it's a little disappointing that last year happened the way it was, and so I want to make sure that didn't happen this year.
Now, some interesting numbers came out for the World Series today, and I'm hesitant to raise the flag and say, yay, everything's great. When you think about this, we put up the $10 million main event first place guarantee.
Yep.
You have WSOP.com out there for most of the year.
Yep.
And the numbers only went up about a few hundred.
Yep.
Do you consider that a success for the World Series or not?
I do. And you have to remember that when you say that it went up a few hundred, remember if everything stayed status quo, we would have gone down, right? Because over the last few years, we've gone down. Mm-hmm. So, you have to think of it as a net. If it was to have gone down another 100, we really went up 400, 500. Sure. I mean, would we have liked to seen more? Of course. But remember, WSOP.com, first of all, wasn't up all year long, right? It was really kind of got going September, October. And again, it's Nevada residents. It's not like we're saying like all of us could have played. If it was all year long, I would have been playing every single satellite. Yeah. But I couldn't. You could only do it during this month. We definitely got more because of that. So I think any trend upward, I think it's the first since 2010 or 2011.
Yeah.
Being that is the case, that was great. I'm very happy with my prediction, by the way. I made 6.625, and I just missed.
Nice.
Huh? And then that's documented because it was on ESPN before the main even started.
You're the
before
man.
it even started.
You're the man.
Yeah, well, but 6.625, and I said it was going to be the 5th largest ever. So that was the 5th largest ever. I was off by whatever you want to say, 58. I was off by. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Could be worse. But
that would have got you a double showcase on the price.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. That would have got me a double showcase. You're right. So, but it's an interesting. People were talking about it. It's funny. A couple of people at my table were saying like, "Oh yeah, so how many people are going to be eliminated at the end of today? Like 10, 15%?" And I just giggled. And they go, "Why do you think that's too much?" I go, "Too much?" I said, "Sir, there's going to be only 60% of the field left." And he goes, No way.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
Welcome to the World Series main event.
6,600, and there's 4,500 left. Come on. I mean, people, this is the World Series. People get knocked out real quick. So, interesting day. Obviously, 2A and 2B are together. 2A and 2B will not commingle, so they're going to be in two separate areas. It's a very quiet day here at the World Series, primarily, I think, because of the World Cup game. I think don't be shocked at all if a lot of people chose C specifically because of the World Cup. They saw the schedule. They knew it. There's a lot of Europeans here, a lot of people who are the South Americans as well. And also yesterday was the biggest day, right? So yesterday was the biggest day, and so there are a lot of people who are resting right now. It's a very quiet day. One of my friends just went in to play cash and is probably, just making a guess, 20, 30 tables going. Like 4 or 5 of them just opened up, and we're talking 1:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So it's a quiet day here at the World Series. But it'll get exciting very, very quickly. People don't realize, just to put into perspective about the World Series, Day one is a spectacle in and of itself. And if you haven't read my column on ESPN, I wrote down that the World Series main event has very unique things that's only inherent to the main event. First, a day one bubble. There's an actual day one bubble. People are so ecstatic. And I will say there wasn't as much celebrating this year as I've seen in the past. I've literally seen people applauding. I made it through the day and calling. But I did see a lot of people calling. Oh, I made it. What'd you make? You made it through day one.
Right.
But to make it through day one of the main event, that's almost a badge of honor.
Right.
Then the money bubble, and that'll happen on day 4.
Right.
And people don't realize that it takes that long, but it will. It'll happen on day 4. It'll probably happen right before dinner.
Yeah, it was early last year.
Yeah, well, the reason why is that in the past they didn't play full 5 levels. Mm-hmm. Jack made it 4.5 levels one year, and then this day 2 was 4.5 levels to catch up. So that added another level. It always breaks on the same level. Mm-hmm. So it added another level, and so when you add another level, that's 2 hours, 2:20 because of the break.
Right.
So that's why it went there. So it'll go before dinner. Then you'll end day 1. 693 players will cash. You'll end day 1 probably around 400, 350 players. And people are like, no way. I will tell you, in the first 15, 20 minutes after the money bubble breaks, 100 people will be eliminated.
Oh, absolutely. At least.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. In the first hour, probably like 250. It's crazy. It's really crazy. So, it'll be a long day, and then as you get down day 5, day 6, day 7, that's when it gets exciting. Mm-hmm. When you get under 200 players, and everyone is not only in the same room, but also there's so many tables that you can literally stand up and see every table. That's when it's exciting.
Yeah.
And I've been fortunate enough to be part of those a couple times, and it's an exciting feeling. It really, really is when you get down there, and you wish everyone who's still in this that they have that opportunity, and hopefully they can get down there and get deep.
Phil Ivey, big run yesterday.
Yeah.
And
Mr. Blair Hinkle
well.
too, 161,000.
Yeah, a lot of big stacks coming out of there yesterday.
I joked to him. I texted to him. I go, "Oh, what do you know? Blair's got a big stack again."
Yeah.
So, but Mr. Ivey, I think the thing about Phil is that he's going to have a situation where one of two things will happen. One, the table will be so scared and they'll let him run over it, or two, which I think happens more often than not. This 2 scenario is that they all want a story to say that they beat Phil Ivey in a hand. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the Rounders. I don't know, John. I don't know if I remember I had it, if people remember about Matt Damon with Johnny Chan. So I think that's what was going on yesterday, at least by me reading some of the hands. And when Phil Ivey makes hands, that's bad.
Yes.
Right? So he had top set aces. He's betting 10,000 on the turn, and the guy shoves on him. He goes, I call. So people are trying to get stories to get Phil Ivey. Like, I bluff Phil Ivey out of a hand. Oops, when he has the nuts, that's not going to happen.
No.
So it'll be interesting. Phil Ivey with chips is a very, very scary proposition. So we'll see. The man's made 4 deep runs. Obviously, 10th in 2003. 7th in 5 years ago. It was Kata's year in 2009. So and obviously lost Ace King to Ace Queen Darvin Moon, which some people have nicknamed you got mooned. When you got Ace Queen Ace King. So it'll be very interesting to see where he goes with that stack. Tomorrow will be a very, very big telltale if he can take that and continue moving forward.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting day tomorrow. I mean, obviously. You have the smaller field today, but we did see so many big names get through, and not just getting through, but getting through, with 6 figures in their stacks.
Right.
I mean, it's a long list. I don't know if you got to look at it or not, but it's going to be a wild one tomorrow.
Yeah, to be honest, I think anyone who's still in this day 2 and who's watching and listening is that don't take day 2 as like moving day. I don't really consider it moving day. I think it's almost ironically like a golf tournament. And I also think that the main event should be considered, you almost consider it like 2 tournaments. The first tournament being up until the money, the second tournament being after the money. And in some respects, the hour or 2 hours where there's a frenzy of eliminations, you just kind of be like, that's like, it's just happening.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can take advantage of it if you've got chips or you get cards, but there are really 2 tournaments. And, if you think of it as a golf tournament, 4 days for play golf. First day, you just don't want to play yourself out of it, right? Just like a golf tournament. Day 2, you kind of want to make the cut. And that's really what's happening tomorrow. You, again, don't want to play badly, but you want to at least put yourself in position. Day 3 is moving day, and that's what it is here.
Yes.
Day 3 is moving day. You have to have a decent day to get there, and then day 4 you're going to break the money eventually.
Is there given where this how many players are in this field? Is there a number that is reasonable to shoot for? Or are you just playing to survive? I mean, if you had a number in mind,
I think it I can't hear. My headphones are down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, but I think for me it's survival. That's me. That's the way I play. I'm not shooting for a goal number. I've never shot for a goal number. I've shot for a goal, place where I want to get to, whether it's get through day 3 or something like that. But I don't ever have a number in mind. I just find that when I did that in the past, it just didn't help me. So I don't do it that way.
Yeah, I don't think too many big dogs do that either. Because it was funny, we actually had a gentleman out here asking, so how many chips do you think I should have at the end of the day? I'm like, just stay alive.
Just be in
the tournament. I said 1.
I think the answer is be in the tournament at the end of the day.
Right.
If you're in the tournament at the end of the day, then that's a good thing. I mean, you have to remember when I made my deep run. Good Lord, I can't believe I'm saying 9 years ago. With 100 and I don't know the specific number, but something like with 175 left, I was like 150th. With 57 left, I was 53rd. With 27 left, I was 22nd. I was 40% the average stack. I mean, I was not in great shape. Now, mind you, in today's world, the average stack is 60 big blinds.
Yeah.
If you're 40% the average stack, you still got 25 bigs, 24 bigs. You're fine. You're not in that much trouble. But it's about survival. It's not about, the only time it's no longer, you have to get there is, when you're down to 3 or 4 handed and you have very few chips, you're going to be in trouble. And don't get me wrong, you don't want to have 10, 12 big blinds at any stage of the game, but it's about survival. And it's a different mentality for me too. Or a different philosophy. I think there are a lot of players who are thinking, well, it's not about survival. It's about getting as many chips as possible to put yourself in position to win. Okay, I understand that. But to me, I also look at it as if I'm still around here on day 6 and 7, I have a shot.
Yeah.
If you took that chance on day 3 and were eliminated, then you don't have a shot. So, who says my way is right? I don't think it's necessarily right. It might be wrong, but that's the way I do it.
Any favorite players? We did have a lot of players get bumped yesterday, but any players that you saw in the field that, maybe kind of an upset pick or, some people that you really like that are left off the top of your head? No?
No, I don't really think there's anybody that I can think of. Blair, probably. I think Blair's just a really, really great player and a great kid. And I say kid in all respect, Blair, by the way. I think he's just a really nice guy. And I think he's just a very quiet, and he deserves it, after all this, what he went through. The guy got his $1 million off Full Tilt, so maybe he doesn't deserve it anymore, but just joking.
I'm sure he'd be happy to hear that.
Yeah. But, no, just a random name to throw out there. Blair with 161,000 chips is a threat.
Yes.
No matter what it is, he's a threat.
He's done it before. I remember the first event I ever played here, he won it.
Yep.
So he knows what the hell he's doing. That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But there were I want to say it the reverse is there are a lot of big names that were out of this thing.
Yes.
Raymer's out. Jesse Sylvia's out.
Mm-hmm.
I read the whole. There are a lot of solid names who are out of this thing already. So think of it in that respect as well. As many solid names have gotten through, there are a lot of solid names who are no longer with this tournament.
Kind of got to make you happy to a point. You don't want to see friends lose, but at the same time, the field whittles. I know it's early.
I'll be honest with you. It's so early that the odds are some top pros are going to be out, and it's just when you look down the list of casualties, you're like, oh, that person didn't make it. Doesn't make a difference. It's whether it's going to be Jesse Sylvia or Greg Raymer or whoever, or instead it's going to be Blair Hinkle or Phil Ivey. It doesn't matter. They're going to be a solid player, and if they're sitting across from me, they're going to be sitting across from me. So it's later on when you're down to 75 and you see Phil Ivey and Blair Hinkle's name, and they are eliminated. You're like, phew, that's a different story.
Now, by the way, let me ask you this: what do you think of the situation with with Greg Merson, really taking it to the World Poker Tour about this event they're running over at the Aria right now?
I didn't. To be honest, I was so focused yesterday. Was he saying bad things about it?
I didn't think it was respectful to be running now it's not a full WPT event.
Right.
But didn't think it was respectful for the World Poker Tour to be running an event during the main event here at the World Series, even though it had 6 starting days on it. They're on their 5th starting day.
What's their buy-in? What's the buy-in?
565.
Yeah. So it's a lower buy-in, obviously. But listen. Everyone's got to make money. It's a decision that they made. I did see that and saw that seemed unusual. In the past, they've had it where they had a main event running at the same time, but the main event obviously started a lot later. I think it was like day 1s were day 4, 5, and 6 here. So obviously the majority of the people were out.
Yeah.
But, you could argue that affected the numbers here, right? So if you have 6 starting days, $500 buy-in, let's just say of all the people who played, maybe 50 of those players decided not to take that $500 and play a satellite here. Maybe 100 of those players, and now 10 more of those players would have bought in, and maybe even more. So did it affect? Yeah, it could have. It easily could have made an effect on here as well. Do I say it's a bad decision? It's everyone's right to make a business decision accordingly, right? There are a lot of tournaments that are run because of another tournament. It's being run, and then some other. Look at all the other tournaments that are going on with regards to Caesars, Venetian, all that. They're all going on while the World Series is going on. Isn't that kind of, I thought originally that was disrespectful-ish. This was years ago, but they're very popular. So I'm not saying Greg's wrong. I'm not saying he's wrong, but it's a decision that was made.
Yeah, and one other thing I want to ask you before I know you want to get some rest, I'm sure, but you're welcome to stay as long as you want. We've been talking a little bit about the rights of poker players that the rakes are so high, and you're coming into venues and you're getting overcharged for things, and the players just don't seem to get a lot out of what's going on. Of course, and a lot of this came out with the controversy at the One Drop with that's terrible. Now I'm blanking. Coleman not doing the interview. Do you think that it's going to get to the point sometime where the players are going to have to form some sort of, whether even it's just a loose organization, but organize somehow to to advocate for themselves a little bit more as this becomes more and more of a business?
Well, listen, I have a very different opinion about. I think I have a very different opinion, but I have an opinion about Dan not doing his interview, etc. I think that it's a choice that he makes, right? There have been players, I won't name who they are, but I've had conversations with certain players that have said they regret it 4 or 5 years later that they didn't do an interview with somebody after they won or did really well in an event. Mm-hmm. This is Dan's choice. Yep. I think Ty Stewart put it best. They are not our spokespeople. They are our customers. And being that as the case, we do not require them to do an interview. That being said, I think Daniel wrote something up, and I interviewed Daniel afterward. And what Dan had said specifically is that he feels that poker, to the majority of the public, is bad because they are going to end up being losers in the long run, which I hope people don't take offense to. I think is correct. Yeah, the majority of the people. Yeah, so absolutely. I don't think that's but being that as the case, he feels that that poker is bad for society. But he's doing something about it and winning money off of that. Mm-hmm. He has to come, as Daniel has said, and I agree with Daniel, he has to come to a moral decision of, am I going to continue to reap those benefits, or am I going to stop playing a game that I feel is morally wrong and taking advantage of people? Again, I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm just basically going off of what has been said. I also, they feel like they don't owe anything to poker. Okay, that's fine. They don't. However, I don't know what the statements that went back and forth by saying, this doesn't matter whether he does an interview or not, TV, etc. If Chris Moneymaker doesn't do what he does on TV, you and I are not sitting here doing this conversation.
Exactly. That was my point.
We are not. Okay, yep. No, but again, you don't have to say that Dan Coleman is responsible for continuing that. So that's where there's that fine line. But I think there were some discussions back and forth saying that TV is not responsible for $1 million tournament. I completely disagree with that. If Chris Moneymaker doesn't do what he does, doesn't get all the hype, Moneymaker effect, part of the Moneymaker effect was television.
Yes.
Let's make no bones about that. That's what it was. And if that is the case, then the $1 million event happened because of all of this. We would never have had a $1 million event otherwise. So if that is the case, it did have an effect. Does that mean that Dan has to go on TV? No, that's not. But don't ever say that TV did not affect the situation of us having $1 million buy-in event, us having, after Moneymaker 839 buy-ins, now we have 6,683. Don't tell me that eightfold increase, or when Jamie Gold in the high 8,000s, a tenfold increase. That didn't happen just because of luck. It happened because of a lot of factors, including online, including the whole cams, but TV was part of it. TV was definitely part of that. So, again, I'm not saying Dan did anything wrong. If he doesn't want to be part of it, then that's fine. That he doesn't have to be part of it. And he doesn't want to do anything. I have contact over my 8-year career, 9-year career being part of the media. I have contacted a lot of people who did not want to do interviews, surprisingly.
Yeah, same here.
And I have interviewed every member of the November 9 except 2. And both of them declined to do the interview, which I was surprised. I was very surprised. This is your opportunity to talk about whatever. We can promote whatever you want to promote. One of them could have promoted a site that they had, but they declined. That's fine. No problem. I've called WPT winners. I've talked to WSOP bracelet winners and say, hey, you want to talk 10, 15 minutes and go on the show? No, I'd rather not. I'd rather pass. Okay. that's the decision that they make, right?
Yeah.
So.
One thing that I parallel to this year was, I had talked to John Hennigan early in the World Series, and asked him if he'd like to come on, and do an interview, and he said no, I don't do interviews. But
I've asked him for years. Yeah.
But after he did the 50K or won the 50K, he came on the show, and I think because he understood this was the gravity of this win is huge, and I at least feel like I wouldn't be sitting here without all the other poker players, and let's do this real quick,
right?
And he gave me 5 minutes, and I guess my thing is that a tournament like the One Drop is built on the backs of television and everything that happened, and the everyday poker player that is sitting there at home saying, man, I want to be that's a dream, I want to be there. And to kind of act like, and I agree with you that he doesn't have to do it, but I think it's kind of a diss to everybody that, that wants to be a part of that. And then you see a guy that says, you know what, I don't, no, I'm not going to do it. And you want to share in that moment. You want to be a part of it, because that's what, I mean, when I started playing, I actually started playing before Chris won. We got really excited after Chris won. And I was like, that I would like to be that guy, as so many other players did. And Chris let us into that world. And when when somebody doesn't let you into that world, it kind of puts a little wall up, whether they know it or not.
I don't doubt it. Like I said, Dan has the right to do what he wants to do. Do I agree with it? I mean, in all honesty, I don't. I really don't. If you have an opportunity to promote the sport,
or his views.
Well, yeah,
he could have done that too.
He could have easily done that as well. But listen, I'm going to state that I respect his decision not to talk. That's his choice. However, if you're asking me, do you think it would have been good for him to talk for poker? Yes, I do. Yeah. I do. But I give him the right to say, no, I don't want to talk, and that's fine. I think we are in a society a lot. I mean, I guess sports is a little different because you're literally interviewing them every single game. Like, I mean, after a certain point, why do you have to talk to these guys about the same thing every single day? But in a society where we have to get so much information, this is a gentleman who isn't feeling comfortable in front of the cameras, doesn't want to do interviews, and that's the decision he made. So you have to respect that decision. I don't agree with it, but I'm not going to berate him about it like some people in the industry have. I won't. That's the decision that he made. I feel like potentially 5-10 years from now, he may regret it. Yeah. He may be like, I should have just given them 5 minutes. Yeah. Whether that is because, wow, I see the power of what I could have built as a brand, or could have gotten endorsements or something along those lines, or he just realizes I could have at least said something that may have made effect. And the problem is that at that moment, are you really thinking about that, right? He's really trying to win this tournament. He's not thinking of, I want to make a social statement, or I want to help poker. That's not what he's doing, right? He's I think 23. He wanted to win, whatever amount that he had of himself, he wanted to win that. And the decision was, I want to move on. I don't want to discuss this anymore. I don't want to be that ambassador. Yeah. And I will say that is one of my biggest fears for the main event, that we have a winner, and that winner doesn't want to talk and doesn't want to be an ambassador. That is a fear of mine, because when you become that winner, you represent poker for the whole year. And if you don't want to discuss and don't want to talk about poker, that's a big fear. And there have been some players that I've interviewed over the years says, I don't want to do it. I really don't want to do it. I mean, there have been players who have flat out said, if I could be second, take second place money right now before the table started, and not have that, I'd do it right now.
I remember Greg Merson had mentioned something along those lines. I mean,
I don't remember Greg being that person, but I do remember some others, and I don't want to call him out. And that's fine. That's the decision they made. But I think Greg has done a great job. I think Joe has done a great job. I think Jonathan has done a great job. Pius was over in Europe, and PokerStars put him over in Europe more. So I can't say whether he did or didn't, because we just didn't see him enough. Mm-hmm. I think Ryan has been, jury's still out with Ryan, right? It's only 1 year, so it's still out. Obviously the Moneymaker Raymer Hashem trio, the PokerStars trio could not have had three better champions in what you would consider almost the modern era.
Right.
And then we had a couple of blips, unfortunately, for better or worse, Jamie's lawsuit put a black mark, right? I mean, that's just as simple as that. I'm not saying whether that was right or wrong or whatever, but that was not looked upon well by the majority of the people out there. And then Jerry made a decision not to play. I spoke with him a couple times, and he made the decision that he was not going to play a lot that year. And he still doesn't play a lot.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, you only have that 1 year. And, I wouldn't have made that decision. I'll just leave it at that. I have a lot of other opinions about it, but I wouldn't have made that decision.
Yeah, and once again, I understand why he chose to do what he did. He decided that there were better ways to use the platform that he had other than being in poker. Would you have rather seen him out on the circuit for a year more? Sure, absolutely. Yeah, he decided to take it in a different direction. So.
I think you can be on your soapbox a lot more when you're in the public eye than being quiet about it. But that's just, and then Peter Eastgate, unfortunately, just wasn't a outgoing champion. I think he's somewhat retired now, right? Isn't he? Did he?
He was gone for a while,
and
but
then he came back, and then again, we haven't seen him much,
yeah.
and so he's a very quiet champion. I think Joe was quiet, but he has really come out of his shell. I've interviewed him like 2 or 3 times recently, and boy, is he really doing much better. I said that even on air. I think he's doing a great job. And, of course, him becoming the first main event bracelet winner since Carlos Mortensen, I think that's fantastic for him. He got so close so many times. So I think Joe's done a great job. But the fortunate thing is that we've had some other people who played in the World Series and made a lot of deep runs that have become really true ambassadors. Dennis Phillips is obviously one of those people that have done a really good job. Grinder, I think, has done a really good job as well. So I think there's enough people out there who are going to help poker and keep moving poker along.
Like you.
Well, I appreciate.
You do
that.
all right.
I appreciate. I try. Right. I mean, I would. I've told my wife, well, I would relish the opportunity to try to help, expand poker. Somebody asked me that question. So the question was, and I've been asked it a lot, but the question was, so if you won the 2005 World Series, not Joe, how would poker look? And my answer, how I started my answer was, well, first of all, we have to see what would not have happened. And I think Asia Pacific, especially Australia, would never have expanded to the levels it is today.
Man, that's a good point.
Aussie Millions, the Crown, WSOP Asia Pacific, those would not exist today without Joe Hashim. And I think that the world of poker needs to thank him for doing that and expand, because we don't expand just in the U.S., we expand around the world. And we know that Europe is a great tour right now. South America, obviously the U.S., but expanding it over to Asia and Asia Pacific area is solely because, well, I don't want to say solely, but a good portion of it is because of Joe Hashim. Mm-hmm. So let's not worry about whether Bernard Lee won the 2005 World Series. Let's see what would not have been. I still remember the person being like, that's the first time anyone has ever answered it that way, minus the champion first before you put in yourself. Yeah. And I said, well, I think that's the truth. I would I have done a lot? Sure, I would have done a lot. I would have done whatever needed to be to help promote this game that we all love and I love dearly, and I'm fortunate to make a living off of it. And I would relish the opportunity to be an ambassador for this game. I love this game and I love doing it. But I think Joe did a great job. Could not have asked for a better champion. And I saw him the other day, and just a great guy, just a really, really good guy. And like I said, the Moneymaker Raymer Hashim trio could not have been better for poker at that time.
Yep,
absolutely. We need another one like that. And I will say, I think also part of the reason why they were so good is that they were older. They have a little bit more perspective on life.
Yeah.
When you are a 22 to 24-year-old, it's a little harder to have perspective on life with that. You're just growing up, and you're almost growing up in front of the world's eyes, and that's hard to do. That's really hard to do. And then you also got handed an $8 to $10 million check.
It's a very, very hard. It's
hard to not just run off and disappear and have a good time.
Right. Well, and also it's a lot of respects. It's like these pros that just get these contracts that are $5-10 million, and then they make a mistake and they're like, oh, I can't believe he's. Well, it's kind of in some small world, it's like Johnny Manziel right now. Johnny Manziel, they're criticizing him from going to Vegas and Beverly Hills and all this for having these parties. He's 21 years old. Give him a break. But because he's under this microscope, so you have a lot of these announcers who are saying, he needs to be more careful and this and that. He's in the public eye. Okay, I understand that, but he's 21 years old.
Yeah,
Give him a break. Yeah. He's not doing anything wrong. He's not committing a crime. He's going to a party. Mm-hmm. He's having fun. Let him have fun. Yep. So, and that's where you can criticize 22 to 24-year-olds who may not be like the moneymaker Raymer Hashimer, but they're 22 to 24 years old. Let them have fun, and you can't blame them for it.
You should go out and party up. I want to see you at the pools in Vegas, Bernard.
Let's get to this November 9. You'll see me some parties, trust me.
Fair enough. We'll keep that in mind.
That's right.
Does that mean I'm invited to a good
party?
Yeah,
100%.
Outstanding. That brings
100%.
me.
That brings you a lot of joy. We'll be renting out. We'll be renting out a couple of clubs if that happens. Trust me.
All right, sounds good. Well, Bernard, I'll tell you what. I actually have to get to a commercial break, and these guys are going to be on break here in a couple of minutes too. So if you want to stick around, you can. I'll leave it in your.
I may go take my rest today. So
I don't blame you.
All right, brother. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Bernard, good to see you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, let me get the commercial started. I know we got to take care of something here real quick. So we will be right back here on the Mark Hoke Show. Bernard, thanks for coming over.
You're welcome.
I do appreciate it. And we'll see who else comes flying out of this room on the break. They're World Cupping in there. I was excited. I thought there was exciting poker in there.
No, 4-0 Germany.
Just balls getting kicked around all over the place. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back.
RunGoodGear.com is one of poker's premier online stores for apparel. Their mission is to provide poker players with stylish and comfortable clothes for their daily grind. You've probably seen Run Good Gear at the World Series of Poker through Run Good Poker Pro Rob Salaburo, or around the country through the WSOP circuit. Today, RunGoodGear.com is the place to go to gear up for the poker felt. So go there now with the promo code HOKE, that's HOKE, for 10% off your entire online purchase. Remember Hoke. Now go gear up.
When it comes to custom poker tables, why would you buy something someone else designed and even named for their sales or marketing purposes?
The Nighthawk, the Gambler, the Big Slick, the Nuts.
Sure, you can customize it if you want, as long as you choose between black, red, or even green cloth, but that's about it. When you choose to play off tilt, it's not just another table, it's your table. The same price gets you a fully custom designed table that reflects your style and game. Off tilt makes it easy to design a truly one-of-a-kind custom poker table that'll give you home table advantage. Sure, Off Tilt could name their tables for marketing purposes, but why? It's not ours. We don't play on it. And to be honest, there are over 1,000 named Off Tilt tables worldwide, including the WSOP, the Deep Stacks Poker Tour, the Jonathan Papelbon, as well as Julie's, Chris's, Scott's, Amber's, Tristan's, just to name a few. So let us add your name to the list and deliver a truly custom-crafted, furniture-quality poker table worthy of your game. Visit www.offtiltpokertables.com or call Brian Knott today at 262-490-3812. We'll show you why Off Tilt is the only way to play.
Sports bettors, tired of getting beat every week at your sportsbook? It's time to stop guessing and start winning. We all know cash is king, and it's time to let the team at Double Digit Covers come to the rescue to help you get the positive cash flow you need to live the life you've always dreamed about. Tony Dos and his all-star sports handicapping team will be in your corner to help you beat the point spread, bring excitement and winning to your betting experience, and build your bankroll to levels you never thought possible. Get free winning sports information at DoubleDigitCovers.com. Stop guessing and start winning today at DoubleDigitCovers.com.
Call now for today's free winner. 1-855-489-2700. That's 1-855-489-2700.
At Team Poker Joker, we build innovative, high-performance, poker-focused apparel designed to keep you cool and calm in tough situations. Wait, no we don't. We've just got a cool brand representing the suits of this beautiful game called poker. Our gear won't make you better, but it will keep a smile on your face. So don't be so serious and show you know how to have fun. Get your Poker Joker gear today at TeamPokerJoker.com. Grin and win today at TeamPokerJoker.com.
9 poker players on a dramatic path to glory with unbelievable twists and turns that will keep you on the edge of your seat. It's the Final 9 comic from Room 110 Publishing. Go to final9comic.com to download the first issue preview and get ready for the official launch coming soon. 9 will become one way or another. final9comic.com. And for more details, make sure to follow them on Twitter and like them on Facebook at Final9Comic.
The heat is on. Whether you're in the hot seat of a major poker tournament or just dealing with everyday life, stay cool with a brand new Arctic Blue cooling towel. Just wet your reusable and durable Arctic Blue cooling towel in cold water and you'll have instant cooling relief at your fingertips for up to 5 hours. The towel is lightweight and pliable, so you can keep it handy no matter where you are. Plus, it's absorbent enough to make sure you and your clothes stay dry while you stay cool. No need to sweat it out, no matter what you're doing, when you have an Arctic Blue cooling towel handy. So get the same cooling towel used by professional athletes, poker players, first responders, physical therapists, U.S. automakers, and even reality TV stars. So what are you waiting for? Visit them today at arcticblu.com and pick yours up today. Plus, enter the discount code MarkHokeShow when you check out and get 15% off plus free shipping to keep some of your cold hard cash in your wallet. It's like the Arctic Blue Bear says, it's not cool to be hot. So pick up your Arctic Blue cooling towel today.
Poker players, it's time to check out DeegePoker.com. Deege Poker is the unique and clever choice for a new generation of true grinders. Representing the full spectrum of poker players from the novice to the world champion, a true Deege player gives their heart and soul for countless hours at the tables to be the best. And Deege Poker apparel shows everyone who you really are on and off the felt. So join the new generation at DeegePoker.com. That's DEEG Poker.com. Deege Poker, the world's newest poker apparel store.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Then follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show and like our Facebook page at The Mark Hoke Show for show news and outstanding poker content from around the world. Plus, enjoy the show anytime by subscribing to our podcasts on iTunes or at markhokeshow.podbean.com. We're even on your mobile phone at markhokeshow.podbean.com/mobile. Thanks for listening and being a part of The Mark Hoke Show.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And I'm sorry, we are back here on the Mark Hoke Show. My apologies, we got a lot of activity going on out here in the hallway. Of course, players are on their first break of day 2 and getting things rolling here. So a lot of activity. Just heard from Jesse Capps. Jesse took a little bit of a hit, decent hit, goes down to 29,000, but Jesse's still in good shape there. So plenty of room to play for Jesse Capps. And Steve Fox hanging around here too, said he's enjoying his table. No report from Joe Payne yet, or my co-host. As you can see, chair number 2 unoccupied at this point, as Joe is in the Amazon room duking it out right now. Bathroom line, not so bad. It's only a little bit past me. So hanging in there. Let's take a look at some of the action going on here so far on this level, and let's take a look-see here real quick. Of course, we reported on Josh Aurier getting eliminated here, and just running down through trying to catch some updates. And wow, so Tom Middleton and Benjamin Gold, we're starting to see some decent clashes out there. Benjamin Gold was fourth in chips to start the day in 2A, raised $1,400 from the button. Middleton, who won the EPT Barcelona main event last year, made the call 4 King 8 2 club flop. Middleton checks at Gold bet 1,700. Check raise for Midi, and that gets it done. So a little bit of a collision there. And we'll keep running down through, see some other hands. And apparently Greg Merson has been eliminated. So the Moneymaker and Merson were on this table, but Merson came in short stack today, but he gets knocked out of here. Merson was all in with an ace-9 suited, ran into an ace-queen, and Chris Moneymaker says that's the only world champion you're knocking out today to the player that took care of it. And so Greg Merson, no deep run again this year as Merson eliminated here from the main event. Let's see what else we have going on. Yeah, Oli Shemian apparently playing pretty aggressively out there. We've got the WSOP stats, and we're going to break that down a little bit for you. Like I said, just running down through updates. Barney Boatman loses his first flip of the day. Ace-King against 9, so Barney Boatman has his chip stack knocked down to 28, but of course still a long way to go on that, so painful, but not a big deal. Marvin Rettmeyer loses a little bit of money to Jeff Rossiter, but nothing big on that one. Jan Heitman is out. So one of the German contingency gets knocked out of here. Let's see who else. I apologize. I'm just scrolling through here. It's pretty busy. Annette Oberstad just coming in around here. And, of course, she was at a table with Joe Payne. So just wondering what's going on with Joe on that. And once again, still sliding down through some of the updates here. See if we can give you some other news. But, of course, looks like the big news here on this level. Oh, looks like Rettmeyer lost a hand here. Oh, set over set to Cody Gorman. Gorman goes to 105,000. Rettmeyer down to 108. So Rettmeyer losing about a third of his stack, but still in pretty good shape. Nam Lee picking up some quads, so he makes a nice little move on that one. And yeah, I think that's about where we're at right now. We'll check those chip counts here for you in just a second. Of course, hey, we want to make sure that we get to mention coming up, if you haven't heard, and you should have heard if you're listening to the show, kids, it's time to go to Canada. That's right, head up to Calgary. We've got the CPT Summer Showdown coming up July 24th through August 3rd at the Grey Eagle Hote Resort and Casino. Mark Hoke Show will be there for the last 4 days of the event. And we look forward to joining up there with the Canadian Poker Tour. Should be a wild one up at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, over $500,000 in guarantees. Love to see you up there, so if you want to take the time to come on up to Calgary and go to CanadianPokerTV.com, and you can get great room and airfare discounts just by hopping on board there at CanadianPokerTour.tv. So we'd love to see you. Thank you for hopping in and checking that out. All right, and by the way, I also want to mention one of our great sponsors of the show, and we've been talking about these guys who have supported us throughout this whole World Series. But if you're a sports bettor, and I know that there's a lot of you out there, we have a great company for you to call, the #1 sports consulting team in Las Vegas, Tony Dose and the team at Double Digit Covers. I got to tell you, I know these guys personally. They really do care about what they do. They want to get it right for you. Not perfect, but pretty darn good. Check them out at doubledigitcovers.com. If you want to get a free pick right now, you can give them a call, 855-489-2700. It's 855-489-2700. Or get a pick sent to your phone daily by visiting doubledigitcovers.com. All right. And I'll also mention a new sponsor, too, our good friends at Deej Poker, DEEGpoker.com, brand new apparel for some unique stuff for the unique player. Check them out today at DeegePoker.com. All right. And just looking around, Dennis Phillips here in the hallway. We got Justin Bonomo hanging around. Kenny Einiger. What's up, Ken? Kenny Einiger throwing elbows. You'd think of that orange shirt, he'd be safe, but not happening. Zach Grunberg, look at this guy. Just, yeah, that's how it works. Of course, everybody's scrambling to try and get into the bathroom, get something to eat real quick if they're hungry. As this first level is set to break, should be opening the doors back up in just a couple of minutes. Of course, so we saw some. Well, actually, I want to hang on. I don't want to get too deep into this until we see if anybody else swings over here. So let's pull some more of those chip counts for you while we have a couple of seconds. Bear with for one moment. Once again, pretty loud out here. We'll see if we can get an updated chip count for you. There we go. It's got to reset my browser there a little bit, and let's see what we got. Your new chip leader here on day 2AB, Samuel Moore out of Altoona, Pennsylvania, up in the north central part of the state, is your new chip leader, reporting at 230,000. Martin Jacobson continues to move up a little bit. He is at 220. Ryan Buchholz out of Studio City, California, at 203,000. Trey Luxemburger, the day 1B leader, chipped up a hair. He is at 198,000. Ajay Kumar Karanam has moved into your top 5. He stands at 196,400 chips. Looks like he got a double up. Sarkis Hakobayan at 190, 125. Paul Douglas now moves into the top 10 for today, 185. Ryan Julius at 180. And look at this guy. How about this? Jonathan Dimmig, the Millionaire Maker winner this year, at 169,300 chips. So Jonathan Dimmig, we were kind of wondering if that name was going to pop up again here at the World Series. Well, there he is. Obviously using that little bit of that money from the Millionaire Maker to play the main event. It looks like it's paying off for him. Joe Kuther had a very nice first day, and he continues to roll on. He goes to 162. Some other notables. Nicole Pahuja at 146. Jonathan Taylor's gone to 140. Manning Lozier, 131. Kenny Einiger was in the top 10 chips after day 1A. He stands at 129. And just running down through here while everybody's wrecking my stuff. Taylor Parr is at 124. Matt Affleck, 123,500. Kevin McPhee at 123. David Williams, 122. Eric Seidel also at 122. Keep those chip counts coming for you. David Pham at 110,000. Marvin Rettenmeyer at 108. Mark Radoja also at 108. Noah Schwartz, 105. The chip leader after the first dinner break here at the World Series main event, Nick DeVello, 103.4. Dan Kelly's at 101. Johnny Chan at even 100,000, so the champ hanging in there. Off to a good start. Scott Montgomery at 97. I think my other chair got stolen. That's nice. Scott Montgomery at 97,000. Keep going down here. Ryan Reese, the defending champion, is at 92. So those are some of your bigger stacks here going into as we continue into day 2AB right now. All right, and of course, once again, we are on break here on level, I believe we're on level 6 here at the main event as these guys waiting to get back into the Amazon room. Packed house here in the hallway, or I should say the Brasilia. Pretty packed here. These guys praying to God that they don't punt my camera. They're already smashing my big sign over here. Doing a great job, so thank you for everybody's responsibility here at the World Series. Sorry, shouldn't be too grumpy. Just one or two people spoiling the fun. Doors are open, so the players are going to be headed back into Brasilia. Of course, we're down here in the hallway on the Mark Hoke Show, live here from the World Series of Poker. We've been here with you pretty much from the start of this thing, and we will continue to give you from first card coverage until the last. And there's the camera punt, everybody. Good work. Thank you. We'll get that straightened out as soon as we can. Looks like we didn't lose the level, so that's good. Always exciting out here in the hallway on the break at the World Series. Something else. Jesse Capps headed back in the room right now. Dennis Phillips heading back in. Boy, wouldn't it be great to see Dennis Phillips get back to the November 9? That would be something else. The players headed back in there and getting ready to roll. Raymond Davis. What? I can't. I'm sorry. I can't hear you, buddy.
What are you going to do when this gravy train is over?
What gravy train?
That's what I told the massage therapist.
Ah.
I said, what are you guys going to do when all these suckers leave town?
Yeah, no doubt.
Huh? They probably had to go get a regular job.
I'm going to Calgary. You should go with me.
You going where?
Calgary.
For what?
Tournament.
What kind of tournament?
The Canadian Poker Tour.
You got to pay me to show up.
Well, I can work on that.
Yeah, get me paid.
All right. I'll see what I can do. All right. So everybody's starting to filter back in there. Nancy Birnbaum. Ready to go. Oh, and I get to yell at somebody. I'm going to get to yell at a couple people, I think. This isn't going to be a fun afternoon. Hey, Nancy, how are you? Just doing my thing. Where you at? Chips.
Oh, 85.
You'll get them back. Plenty of time. All right. So once again, just wrapping up break here. Yeah, it's kind of loud in here. Not as loud as I'm going to yell at this guy using the charger. This will be fun. And of course, once again, we're live here at the World Series of Poker main event. Day 2AB. All right, and I think while everything gets settled in here, just because there was a little bit of chaos going on, Brandon Shack Harris going by, I want to take a minute to get reset before we break down some of the World Series numbers. Hang on just a second. All right, so I'll tell you what, let's take a break, and we'll come right back here on the Mark Hoke Show. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back.
The heat is on. Whether you're in the hot seat of a major poker tournament or just dealing with everyday life, stay cool with a brand new Arctic Blue cooling towel. Just wet your reusable and durable Arctic Blue cooling towel in cold water and you'll have instant cooling relief at your fingertips for up to 5 hours. The towel is lightweight and pliable, so you can keep it handy no matter where you are. Plus, it's absorbent enough to make sure you and your clothes stay dry while you stay cool. No need to sweat it out, no matter what you're doing, when you have an Arctic Blue cooling towel handy. So get the same cooling towel used by professional athletes, poker players, first responders, physical therapists, U.S. automakers, and even reality TV stars. So what are you waiting for? Visit them today at arcticblu.com and pick yours up today. Plus, enter the discount code MarkHokeShow when you check out and get 15% off plus free shipping to keep some of your cold hard cash in your wallet. It's like the Arctic Blue Bear says, it's not cool to be hot. So pick up your Arctic Blue cooling towel today.
9 poker players on a dramatic path to glory with unbelievable twists and turns that will keep you on the edge of your seat. It's the Final 9 comic from Room 110 Publishing. Go to final9comic.com to download the first issue preview and get ready for the official launch coming soon. 9 will become 1 way or another. Final9comic.com. And for more details, make sure to follow them on Twitter and like them on Facebook at Final9Comic.
RunGoodGear.com is one of poker's premier online stores for apparel. Their mission is to provide poker players with stylish and comfortable clothes for their daily grind. You've probably seen Run Good Gear at the World Series of Poker through Run Good Poker Pro Rob Salaburo, or around the country through the WSOP circuit. Today, RunGoodGear.com is the place to go to gear up for the poker felt. So go there now with the promo code HOKE, that's HOKE, for 10% off your entire online purchase. Remember Hoke. Now go gear up. Your business and promotion will only go as far as your website will take you. That's why the Mark Hoke Show has only trusted one name for over 2 years, BlueRail.net. Whether you need custom website design and development packages, or simply need a host for your website, Blue Rail is the only developer to turn to. It's time to discover the world-class personalized service only the Blue Rail team can provide. Visit us at BlueRail.net and call 520-822-5128 right now for your free consultation today. So get on board at BlueRail.net. How far do you want to go?
One man, his lucky shirt, an unforgettable night, and a winning streak that never seemed to end. That's how Blind Squirrel began, and we haven't looked back since. We make the clothes that we want to wear for the places where we want to look and feel our best. The game, the speakeasy, and the casino floor. Blind Squirrel's small batch, high-quality gear is for people too busy grabbing life by the nuts to bother with crappy, ill-fitting clothing. Because like you, we prefer our nights long, our drinks strong, and our lucky shirt to be our most comfortable. So look good, be lucky, and visit BlindSquirrelApparel.com for your new favorite shirt. As an added bonus, you'll receive 20% off your purchase with the promo code HOKE, H-O-K-E. You can also pick up Blind Squirrel Apparel at the Borgata in Atlantic City and in Las Vegas at all Masura stores at Mandalay Bay, Monte Carlo, The Mirage, and MGM Grand. Look good and be lucky with Blind Squirrel Apparel.
Poker players, it's time to check out DeegePoker.com. Deej Poker is the unique and clever choice for a new generation of true grinders. Representing the full spectrum of poker players from the novice to the world champion, a true Deej player gives their heart and soul for countless hours at the tables to be the best. And Deej Poker Apparel shows everyone who you really are on and off the felt. So join the new generation at DeegePoker.com. That's D-E-E-G Poker.com. Deej Poker, the world's newest poker apparel store.
Sports bettors, tired of getting beat every week at your sportsbook? It's time to stop guessing and start winning. We all know cash is king, and it's time to let the team at Double Digit Covers come to the rescue to help you get the positive cash flow you need to live the life you've always dreamed about. Tony Dos and his all-star sports handicapping team will be in your corner to help you beat the point spread, bring excitement and winning to your betting experience, and build your bankroll to levels you never thought possible. Get free winning sports information at DoubleDigitCovers.com. Stop guessing and start winning today at DoubleDigitCovers.com.
Call now for today's free winner. 1-855-489-2700. That's 1-855-489-2700.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Then follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show and like our Facebook page at The Mark Hoke Show for show news and outstanding poker content from around the world. Plus, enjoy the show anytime by subscribing to our podcasts on iTunes or at markhokeshow.podbean.com. We're even on your mobile phone at markhokeshow.podbean.com/mobile. Thanks for listening and being a part of The Mark Hoke Show.
Now, let's return to the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, everybody, final segment of the show coming up here for you. The WSOP put out their interesting new stats, some of which, I'm not sure that I I mean, the numbers are up. Some of the numbers are up. But I think the question is, are the numbers up because of 2 tournaments? Or, overall success rate? Interesting, but, well, we'll break it down for you. So let's take a look at some of the numbers coming out of here at the World Series this year. A new all-time high in participants, 79,471, up 3.6%. So, a nice jump. But, of course, we also did have the Monster Stack tournament that blew everybody away. So, one event may have pulled the numbers over the top on that one. Main event, 6,683 entries. And, of course, a $10 million guarantee on that. Let's swing down here. I'm just looking at it. 82,360 entries in the 65 bracelet events. $225,000 out there in the prize pool. Let's see, average age of cashers. So there's still hope for you guys in the 30s. Average age of casher was 37.66. Of course, minus the main event. 107 countries. Player from every state. So that was good. 10 Canadian provinces all here. Canada has the second most entries in this thing, followed by United Kingdom, France, Germany, Russia, Brazil, Italy, Austria, and Australia. We also had the largest non-Hold'em event field size ever, which was event 3 won by Brandon Shaq Harris. The $1,000 pot limit Omaha tournament, 1,128 entries. So, of course, that becomes the largest field ever to play poker outside of a Hold'em event in live poker history. The biggest single-day attendance was the Millionaire Maker. 7,977 players showing up for that one, even though, of course, there are re-entries on that. That also broke the record for largest non-main event field size. Of course, the second biggest tournament ever after Jamie Gold's main event in 2006. Largest $1,500 buy-in tournament ever. Most unique entrance for a non-WSOP main event, 6226, which actually got broken later in this series. Then the largest first place prize for a $1,500 buy-in as well. That got broken later on in this World Series. Largest Omaha high-low 8 or better draw field. Event number 14 had 1,036 players. Largest Deuce 7 triple draw event, 348. Senior event had its largest field ever, 4,425, just beating last year's by 18 players. So on down the line, of course, the Monster Stack just absolutely decimated this place. 7,862 players, most players to ever play now in a non-reentry event. Largest single-day non-reentry tournament ever, and the third largest poker tournament ever held, second largest by unique players. The largest 10K buy-in also happened, 418 players in the, or other than No Limit, in the Event 64 Pot Limit Omaha tournament. And the largest main event starting flight yesterday ever, 3,768 players. We also congratulate Howard Tahoe Andrew, who is playing in his 41st consecutive World Series of Poker. That is pretty darned impressive. So, and of course, Tom Cousineau also extending his record with the most cashes without a victory. 9 cashes this year for him. That is impressive. Of course, main event still to come, so he could end up with 10 cashes. Phil Hellmuth continues his drive on history as he now has 107 cashes with his 7 cashes here in 2014, 2 final tables. And amazingly enough, he has final tabled 50 of the 107 events that he has cashed in. I mean, that is an amazing number. That may be the most impressive one that I've seen out of all of these. How do you do that? You cash 107 times, and half of the time you make the final table. Now, there are some mixed events in there too. And out of those 50, he has been runner-up or won in 23 of them. That is amazing. And then he's got 8 let's see, going by the math there, that would be, 42. So that would be 8 third-place finishes as well, and 4th through 9th places with 29. Unreal. Phil Ivey, of course, winning his 10th bracelet this year. And the United States just has really, I mean, I don't know what it is that everybody's just been kind of, the international field, not that strong this year, because the United States has won 52 of the 64 bracelets, most they've ever won. Of course, the Germans have the second most bracelets, I believe, with 5. So some pretty interesting numbers here coming out of the World Series of Poker. Let's take a look. I want to take a time to continue to look back on this World Series. We've reviewed a fair amount of the events. But let's go back, and I think we want to head here where we stop breaking that down. Event number 43, Limit Hold'em event. Dan Kelly, of course, picking that one up, knocks off Igor Surikov and winning that one, and he comes up big to win another World Series bracelet and picks up $195,167. Brandon Shaq Harris finishing third in this one. Just an amazing World Series for him, and we'll take a look at the Player of the Year standings before we wrap it up today. Harris finishing third, Sean Barrios in fourth, Jesse Katz in fifth, David Chu in sixth, Jeff Alessandro seventh, Brian Landier eighth, Ron Burke ninth. So it's event number 43, the No Limit Hold'em tournament, or the Limit Hold'em tournament. Event 44, that was a $1,500 No Limit Hold'em won by Jordan Morgan, as he got in an epic battle with Evan McNiff. That was a wild one there. Those guys had to carry over an extra day. Morgan coming up big and winning that. Jason Johnson in third, Ray Foley in fourth, Brian Dillon in fifth. Not a lot of notables in that one. Vinny Pahuja took another horrible beat. He had a great World Series, but certainly it could have gone slightly better had a card or two fallen his way, but Pahuja finishing 12th in that one. But it is good to see the world getting to know McCool and Vinny. They are just two amazing players from out the Borgata and that area of the country, and those fellows have done an outstanding job on the WPT and the World Series of Poker. Event number 45, Will Givens comes back, takes that one down. Of course, finished fourth to Dutch Boyd in event number 33. He defeats Angela Prada-Moed, Paul Sokolov in third, and let's see, David Haas in fourth, Patrick Curzio finishing fifth. That was event number 45, No Limit Hold'em. We go to event number 46. That, of course, the Poker Players Championship won by Johnny World, John Hennigan, as he beats the aforementioned Brandon Shaq Harris. Jesse Martin coming in third, Abe Masori in fourth, and Chun Li Zhao in fifth. Frank Casella in sixth, Melissa Burr finishing seventh, and another third, one of her three final tables at the World Series so far. Alan Kessler in eighth, Scott Seaver in ninth, James Obst in 10th place in the Poker Players Championship. Take it over to event number 47. And that was the ante-only No Limit Hold'em event that a lot of people really are starting to enjoy that event. Jesse McEwen, your winner, knocks off Jonas Lauk from Germany. Rise Jones in third, Simeon Nadenov in fourth. Adam Levy makes his first WSOP final table and finishes fifth. Ryan D'Angelo in sixth. And Antoine Saout finishing in 11th place in that one. Event number 48. Pot Limit Omaha, high-low split 8 or better. And that $1,500 event went to Tyler Patterson. Big win for Tyler, as he had to hold off a very difficult field. Had Scott Clements head up, and one of the better heads-up matches here at the WSOP. But he manages to knock off Clements, wins $270,992. Cody Crawford in third, Jeff Madsen in fourth, Jerry Kosawaski finishing fifth, and Tom Schneider finishing sixth. Of course, Tom won a couple bracelets last year. But none this year, unfortunately, as he not only did not win one in any other events, but has been bumped from the main event yesterday. Now, event number 49 $5,000 no limit hold event, and David Mizikowski from San Diego, California, picks up $719,000 as he beats Norbert Jezi from Budapest, Hungary. Manny Glozier comes in third. Margarita Morris finishing fourth. Oliver Price in fifth on that one. John Dolan in eighth. Blake Bond in ninth. Josh R.A. finishing 12th in event number 49. 5K no limit hold'em. Event number 50. And that was the 8-game mix. Pretty interesting event happening there. And that one swings over to Phil Ivey. Ivey winning his 10th bracelet. I was very honored to be on the WSOP live stream briefly to help out with that one. Defeats an old friend and mentor, Bruce Yarman. Dan Highmiller finishing third, so Dan comes close to winning his second bracelet this World Series, but not quite. Aaron Stewart in fourth, Stephen Chidwick in fifth. Alex Roca in eighth, Daniel Negreanu finishing ninth in that one. And, of course, not only win the bracelet, but saves the Ivy Negreanu bracelet bets. And then just coming off the heels of that one, of course, the No Limit Hold'em Monster Stack event 51, shattering records as everybody went crazy because 1,500,000 chips is just unbelievable to have. Hugo Pingray out of France wins that one, defeating Joseph McKeon. Heads up, Sean Drake in third. Of course, the controversy with the T-shirts on that one. Klaus Siegebrecht finishing fourth. Thayer Rasmussen in fifth. Lynn Beaumont sixth. And I think there's might be a mistake there. Zach Greenberg, good friend, a new friend of the show, I should say, finishing in 8th place in the Monster Stack. We go to event number 52, Limit Hold'em event. And that was your 10K right there. And David Olson coming up big. We got to meet David on the show. David Olson taking that bracelet down, finishes with winning $303,909. Beats Mikhail Tulchinsky. We're just going to go with that. To Moscow, finishing second. Greg DeBoer in third. Samuel Goldbluff in fourth. And Paul Manani in fifth. Another final table for Bill Chen as he finishes sixth in the Limit Hold'em event. Event number 53, the Ladies No Limit Championship. And, of course, that one ended up having its lowest field since 2005 because of the monster stack happening the day before. Hajaya Zhang wins that. She's out of Los Gatos, California. Defeats Mikio Aoki out of Bozeman, Montana. Mikat Su out of New York finishing third. Elizabeth Montezanti finishing fourth place. And Pat Elandis, the assistant to Daniel Negreanu, takes fifth place in that one. A big congratulations to Hajaya Zhang winning this year's ladies event. Right, and we go to event 54, and we're getting close to wrapping up the wrap-ups. Pot Limit Omaha High-Low split 8 or better 3K buy-in goes to Florian Longman, leading once again that German contingent, having a great year. $297,000 for him as he beats Zach Freeman. Dylan Wilkerson in third, Doug Bachman in fourth. Terry Eisenman finishing in fifth place on that. All right, and we'll stop our recap there. Of course, maybe either tonight or tomorrow we'll get around to the last set of bracelet winners before we get into the main event. So congratulations to everybody that had a great World Series, especially the bracelet winners. A lot of guys fulfilling their dreams here this year, and pretty exciting stuff to see. Okay, and let's take a look and see if we've got any more updates for you here at the World Series main event going on. Event day 2AB happening right now. And unfortunately, Mike Sexton has been eliminated. The Poker Hall of Famer and WPT play-by-play guy has been knocked out. Didn't really get who knocked him out. Sexton had King-Queen, and player defended with 6-4, and the flop came Queen-6-4. Oh, and a 4 on the turn wrapped it up, and Mike Sexton has been eliminated. But at least he gets the jab in, as Mike Sexton on Twitter. A $10 million dream down drain, Busto WSOP. Always heartbreaking to go out of main event, but I'm sure Brazil soccer fans feel worse than me. 5-zip in the World Cup semifinal. That's got to hurt. Mike Delonte picked up straight and goes to 83,000. Yifan Zhang gets some chips off Eric Berger. Berger still at 140,000 on this level. Chris Moneymaker apparently struggling a little bit out on the featured table here. And some other highlights from this past level. Mike Gorodinsky has been knocked out. Jan Heitman and Aaron Jones is out of there as well. Let's see. Antonio Esfandiari decided to flip for his life. Ace-King against the Queens of Tomas Scherpfer. Esfandiari hits the king on the flop, and then an ace on the turn, and Scherpfer is eliminated by Antonio Esfandiari, who decides to flip this early in the tournament, and he goes to 80,000 chips. So Antonio Esfandiari in some good shape here at the World Series of Poker as well. All right. Wow. Excuse me. All right, so that, I think, is going to do it here for us for our day show here at the World Series. And, of course, I want to thank Bernard Lee for stopping over, along with Raymond Davis saying hi a couple of times. And we'll see you guys again tonight, 6:30 to 8 p.m. Pacific time here on the Mark Hoke Show. I want to thank you for joining us, and we will see you tonight here at the World Series of Poker main event, Day 2AB coverage coming to you live here at the WSOP. So we'll see you guys tonight. Have a great afternoon.